Good up.
This is Channel 253.
On this episode of the Grit and Grain podcast.
Ultimately, we're just looking for equality and just some kind of recognition in the industry, and to avoid things like saying like, oh, is this a man that's like, who's the dude that's speaking? Like, what do you mean the tap? Like, avoiding those conversations pretty much.
Like, it just shouldn't be weird that it's me or that it's you.
Right, exactly. And just like creating this equality. Will we ever get there? Probably not. But making sure that that doesn't prevent women from getting in the door in the first place is, I think, the bigger goal here.
Yeah. Channel 253 is member supported. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you.
Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, where we explore and celebrate the craft beer industry, community, and history in Tacoma, Washington, and surrounding Pacific Northwest areas. Thank you so much for hanging out. Let's get to it. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Grit and Grain podcast, coming to you guys from Peaks and Pints in Tacoma, Washington. Woo! Woohoo! My name is Matt McLaren. I am not here with Ron Swarner. I normally would be. He is out running around drinking all the Northwest IPAs for his tournament of beer. Bethany is also out today. So Lyra's on mic. How's it going, Lyra?
Hi.
Yay!
Thanks for asking me to fill in.
Totally. Thank you so much for being here. Huge lifesaver. But actually, this is like the one to totally fill in on because you're the one that introduced me to one of our guests. So it's perfect. Phaedra's also on mic. How's it going, Phaedra?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
She's swinging around to Doug as well. I know. Doubleheader today, so that's how it's going. I'm super excited for this episode. Hopefully you guys have been tuning in for all our Tacoma Beer Week stuff. We're all past that. It's time to get back to what's happening outside of Tacoma. And this is a great place to start. So our guests today are actually Allie and Jen from Pink Boots Society.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
This is super exciting. So, I mean, we've talked about Pink Boots a ton, and I'm super pumped to actually have you guys here and talk about what you guys do and what the actual society is for and your guys' mission, and this is perfect.
Yeah.
But before we do all that, what are you guys drinking? Jen, what are you drinking?
Well, I am drinking great question. I'm drinking a lager of some kind, probably.
Oh, because somebody else buy you a beer, right?
Yeah, somebody else bought me a beer.
Favorite style of beer.
One of the lagers that are on. I always do. It's a Saaz Hoppy Pilsner.
It's the Pilsner. I don't remember.
Thank you, Lost Abbey.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, RJ. I can tell it's a Pilsner because of the glass.
Thanks. And it is delicious. And the Four Generals Rush, which is also really good.
I know. I think we all have all have a small pour of that. Allie, what are you drinking?
Well, I'm actually drinking the Four Generals Schwarz beer.
Sweet.
As well as the Rosh Helles.
Yeah. Lyra, what do you got?
I have the Schwarzbier and the, Matt, how do you say it? Rauch or Rausch?
Rausch.
Tell me. I need to know.
Rausch.
Where you at?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not a native speaker of that language, so I just use my own
Your own inflection?
my own language.
You're either correct or corrected.
Well,
so.
I mean,
Different in northern and southern Germany.
That's also
So
true.
it's like, where are you? All right.
well,
Interesting.
I don't give people a hard time about how they pronounce foreign words because every native language speaker pronounces foreign words in their own native rules. Yeah.
my OCD wants to know. Sorry.
Rauch? Who said Rauch? Paul said Rauch. Rauch. Phaedra, what are you drinking?
I
You have
am
some
drinking the Rausch.
She was the one that,
By
that
special
requested
request.
that.
Yeah.
So
That's
I've
true.
got it.
So that's yours.
wanted to make sure I brought that.
It's a bottle instead of the keg. So,
Lyra, what else are you drinking? Are you hiding a smoothie beer behind your lager?
Pay no attention to the smoothie beer behind the curtain.
Pay no attention.
You're embarrassing me in front of the lager brewery.
Hey, I know you get behind smoothie beers. So.
Oh, you're doing it for me?
Yeah.
All right.
No, I'm doing it for me, totally.
Whose is that? Is
Support.
that
That's a Drecker.
Drucker? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of love it. I mean, it's like juice.
I've got Grace Brewster, Hoppy Lager.
That was
good
really
one.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And also Roush Hellas.
Yes.
It's rock.
Rock Hellas. Hellas. Can you tell us a little about this? Smoky Hellas, Ali?
Smoky Hellas, yes. So Ross is well known. I should start by saying I work at Four Generals Brewing.
I was like, why did I ask you?
Let's work there. I work for Four Generals Brewing. We are a traditional Germanic style brewery. So he had originally started as a home brewer and grew into a traditional Bavarian style brewer. But we have our flagship, which is our Wells Helles, and he wanted to kind of expand upon that and experiment, and brought the smoky profile to it to get that Roush Helles flavor. So it's one of our staple beers. We have it year round, and it's a great example of smoked beer.
Yeah.
I would say.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
Super light too, man. I have like
Yes.
there's plenty of smoky beer that comes off very acrid and like pretty tough sometimes. And
I
that's,
would
like,
say it pairs best with barbecue.
Sure, yeah, probably
Yeah.
melts
Or
right
grilled
into that.
cheese.
Yes. Or cheese, yes.
It's very good. It's delicious. Thank you for bringing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then Jen, we did not say where you guys are coming here from, but can you tell me about Grace Brewster a little bit?
Yes, absolutely. So I brew over at Georgetown Brewing Company. And my goal for this beer was to get all of the women that work with us to come together to make this recipe.
Yep.
So I hosted a little event, and everyone from our brewers, of course, Tina and Paige, who really truly brewed it, by the way.
Yes.
While I toured everyone around and did everything.
We watched.
But it was with the help of our two lab ladies, Nicole and Kelsey, and then also some of our retail ladies and some of our doc ladies as well. Sure. So we all came together. I had a general idea of how I wanted it to be. I'm a big lager brewer personally, so I definitely wanted to have a more lager forward style. We have an ALDC yeast, which is it prevents the precursor to diacetyl. So I wanted to use that and really highlight it, but then also utilize the Pink Boots YCH hop blend. So basically we kind of used a little bit of a Bodhi-based recipe for it. No oats. And then we dry hop the shit out of it with the Pink Boots hop blend, which has a little bit of Simcoe, Crush, Chinook, and Mosaic in it.
Nice.
It's really nice.
Pink Boots blend was gorgeous.
Oh, it
this
was
year.
so lovely.
I mean, it's always like very obviously like meticulously kind of built, but like every beer I've had so far this year has just been like, I mean, a banger. It's like so good.
And we have had a lot of great representation of those beers too.
So we just got ferments in. They're
nice.
female alpha, and it's, I mean, like kick you in the face, like super tropical, tons of like really ripe citrus. It's so good.
Yeah. I think that one turned out really well. I was afraid that because we dry hopped it and we wanted it to come out pretty quickly, that it was going to be a little more diacetyl ridden, but I think it cleaned up really nicely.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, like, do you prefer to use ALDC yeast when you're doing like hoppy stuff like this, so that you can kind of like release during premium freshness without the risk of diacetyl?
No. So, and that's kind of a funny thing. I did an educational segment on our last meeting about how the misconception with ALDC yeast is that it will actually prevent hop creep, and that is actually not the case at all.
Okay.
It doesn't eliminate diacetyl. It just prevents the precursor to it. So it's super possible for it to come back in a hop creep situation or
Gotcha,
after
okay.
a dry hopping situation. So this is actually the first time we use the ALDC yeast with a dry hop.
Cool.
We use it in only one of our other lager beers. Otherwise, we use 3470 for the most part. So this was the first time kind of experimenting with it, and it was really cool that we were allowed to do that too.
Yeah.
So, it's
So
kind of fun.
it prevents the formation of VDKs then? Or,
Yeah, there's a specific alpha, or I can't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head right now, because you guys are making me really nervous. But,
I'm asking nerdy questions.
oh no, this is totally fine.
Jen, just drink more.
I know, right? I know. If you
Also
let me, I will tell you about this much.
Perfect.
But yeah, basically, instead, it essentially, yes, it eliminates the VDKs off of that first round of fermentation, that first step. But it is super possible that the phenols can still create those, or that the hops will go with the whatever. They'll restart a fermentation
Sure,
essentially,
gotcha.
and though that precursor is eliminated, it can still come back, and the new yeast that forms can still try to metabolize that.
Gotcha. Dang. Well, either way, it turned out awesome. It's also cool that you got to like play with like new yeast on a project like this.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
I think we did the last beer on the system that Manny's was invented on.
Bodie was invented.
Bodie.
Yes.
Bodie was,
yeah.
oh
Yeah.
shit, that's kind of cool.
know.
Actually.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so that system.
Phaedra was there for that.
Accidentally found
Oh, no,
myself at
Phaedra-
Georgetown.
Phaedra
Oh, yeah.
Shocking.
shimmied her way into that
I
brew
had no
day.
idea.
No, I interrupted her. Yeah. Totally.
I was just minding my own business on my laptop. Yeah. No,
It's like, I need to eat pizza somewhere, and I have 11 people to feed. Hey, you want to come brew with us? And she's
Hell
like,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah. No.
Honestly,
it was super
Phaedra is
fun.
the person to ask.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
like
Yeah.
been like an anchor of the beer industry in this area for
my gosh.
10 years.
Oh, thanks.
I am so lucky to have
It was super
so-
fun, and it was great to meet everybody. And yeah, it was fun. Thanks for letting me crash the party. It was
Always.
Yeah, it was
Anytime.
awesome. Yeah, it's great.
So, for anybody who is not familiar, can you guys break down what Pink Boots is and what you guys, what your guys' goals are as an organization?
Yeah, so Pink Boot Society is about supporting and educating non-binary and women in the the fermented beverage industry. We're breaking that mold and including the entire fermented beverage industry now. Which
Cider, kombucha,
wine, mead, whatever. And yeah, it's just not only is it an amazing opportunity to, build a community around non-binary women in beer or cider or wine or what have you. It's an amazing opportunity to expand your horizons as well. We offer scholarships to send people to the Bavarian Hops Institution in Germany. We have sponsorships to get people through becoming a cicerone or a sommelier and everything like that. So not only does it, create a sense of community between just some kick-ass individuals in the industry, but also helping educate those that are fairly new to it or, have not had the opportunity to, I'm a sales manager, so I'm not really familiar with the brewing side of things, whereas Jen is a brewer, so she is very familiar with that side of things, but we try to bridge the gap. Not only between different facets of the industry, but also between, the agricultural side of things and how it comes to our table as far as beer or wine or cider or mead.
Sure.
And yeah, just really about educating our members in all facets, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so every meeting has some sort of educational component. We do a monthly meeting, and then spring and summer is just going to be a wild ride for us. We've got a ton of educational opportunities coming up. We're going to be going to the brewing school down in Olympia and getting a tour of the facility down there, meeting with some of the students. We're going to be doing it sounds weird, but a river float with Drew Brew out in Cleola.
What? That sounds amazing.
Educational.
Yes, very. I mean,
Awesome.
we're gonna call it a river float tasting because that is gonna be one amazing.
When the cooler floats by you, grab a sample.
Yeah, and then we're also going to be going out in August to Yakima Chief Hops and doing helping them with the whole fresh hops process, which
so
is going to
cool.
be really fun. Yeah. So it's, like I said.
Sound like sweet events.
Right. Yes. We're super excited. We're super busy, but we would have it no other way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are you guys planning all those events just yourselves? Like, how big is
Yes.
your guys' team?
It's the two of us.
It's the two of you. That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
I mean, we do have a membership liaison. We
Yeah.
have a couple of people that are interested in like either recruitment or social media aspects of things. But as far as like coordinating the events and kind of creating those relationships with our industry, it's really between the two of us.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So
Pink Boots is a national organization.
it is.
And yet
yeah.
now, well, Seattle chapter has been around for what, a dozen years?
At least.
At least,
okay.
yeah. Actually, Mary, one of the owners at Four Generals, was one of the original members of the Seattle Pink Boots chapter, and has been a member ever since.
That's so cool.
So when I interviewed with her for my job just in January, she
Yeah.
was like, "Oh yeah, check."
Sweet. Oh, you do this now?
Yeah, you're the chapter lead. Okay, you're mine.
That's like a cool full circle thing.
Right? Yes. Yeah. But yeah, we look out for each other too.
That's so cool.
You know, it's about it. You know, showcasing our members. It's about putting a spotlight on them. It's not making it some big national thing that's just out of reach. It's showcasing those individuals and their skills and their passions as well.
That's a super good point, actually, because I like sometimes when you look at something that's like on a national scale like this, it feels like the edge of the wall is too high to reach or whatever. Like if you have somebody local who is in the industry, and especially with you two being on different sides of the industry, like it does feel like there's way more tangible things that you can do as a member. Like if you're and to be clear, it's you guys are chair and co-chair of the Seattle chapter for Pink Boots Society.
Yeah.
So like you're local, you guys have a cell phone number. Like it's not like it's not somebody's just signing up for a newsletter on a website. Like you're real women in this industry who have been through a lot of the things that many women have experienced, and here are the tools that we were establishing to help you guys kind of navigate those hurdles.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's so cool, and I feel like that's super important in something like this, because it's probably easy to get almost like analysis paralysis when you're looking at resources that exist for everybody else, and you're like, well, it doesn't really feel like this is within reach for me, but this totally is. So yeah, we'll mention it again at the end, but like just if anybody's curious now, where could they find a calendar of events or sign up for your guys' stuff?
So pinkbootsociety.org.
Yeah.
We have a national calendar on there. We put all of our events on the national calendar. This is on the national calendar. So people are looking forward to it. You're welcome. Yeah. People are really looking forward to listening to the episode.
Cool.
Again, Tacoma is very far south for a lot of our Seattle a lot of Seattle members. So not many people here, but they are looking forward to it. Yes, yeah. Well, we also have Tacoma members that have reached out, and they're like, "When are you going to be in Tacoma next?" And I'm like, "Well, check the calendar because we're going to be here." I mean, we were here for Tacoma Beer Week, which I think was a huge success. Mackenzie worked wonders because she found Pink Boots beers that I had no idea about.
That is the magic of Mackenzie.
Yes, I walked into Parkway for the event, and I looked up and I was like, there was only supposed to be 5 beers on tap. Why are there 9?
Dude, she goes hard in the paint, man.
Yes, but it was fantastic. It brought we were able to again showcase all of our members' hard work.
That event was so much fun, man.
It was
really cool.
Yeah. Non-binary women in music and beer. Can't go wrong.
Dude, and it was like every band was so good. They were so different. All the beers were just like banging. It was awesome. It was cool to see it so crowded like throughout the day.
Yeah.
Well, it was at the Parkway, which is awesome. It was and they had a beer garden, which was great. Because who does a beer garden in March in Tacoma? Right?
Mackenzie.
Right? Yeah. And it was awesome.
She doesn't give a fuck, dude.
No, and that was what was perfect about it. Right. That was what was perfect about it. Yeah.
She's like, it might rain, but we have a
whatever. We have a tent. It's great.
It's
easy.
easy.
And it was like beautiful all day. Like,
It was a
perfect.
good day for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was awesome. And then we're also kind of fresh off the heels of Drunk Herstory as well, which I think both of you guys attended.
That was awesome.
That was Jen's event.
Yeah.
I was taking a little bit of a break.
That was super, super rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had a great time.
Yeah.
Dude.
Learned a
It was
lot.
at our
It was
table.
awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. We actually ended up like.
Yeah, we all ended up at the same table. That was super funny, actually. It's like, wow, this is just going to keep
Perfect.
Tacoma Beer Week continues on in Seattle.
I know. That was
They
actually
invaded
perfect.
Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Did they record it by chance?
I don't think so. It was a sold out event like within a couple of days.
They
Yeah.
did stream it.
They
It's
live
possible
streamed.
there's a
So
stream
maybe.
archive.
I was so sad to
Yeah.
miss it because I love that idea.
Yes.
You would think they would have.
Yeah.
I bet
I'll talk
you-
to Abe because
I was
she
gonna
ran the
say Abe would
stream.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She ran the
Okay.
stream, so there might be an
Yeah.
archive somewhere.
Yeah, I betcha.
I know.
Hey, Matt, open another beer.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
You have one job, Matt, or maybe two.
Those,
One-
those is
Oh,
open.
nice. Prop.
I'm in. Thanks, Chris.
So the traditional salt and coriander.
And coriander. All right. I know we were gushing about our Tacoma Beer Week goes on the last episode, which did not include
see. It's a
coriander. Was a sea salt and lemon balm.
Yes, it was very good.
Super good.
I had it at the Parkway event.
Oh yeah, dude. That is like,
excited.
excellent.
So excited.
Ross is so good at making beers.
Thank you.
I love Four Generals.
Imagine that.
I met
Yes.
Mary way back, like 8 years ago, when I
Yeah.
originally was the Seattle chapter lead, and she is the sweetest. And Ross just has the
Yeah.
greatest lagers.
This is
I'm a
good.
big lager person, and his German Helles is amazing. But this
This
goes
is
is great.
really
That's
good.
crazy good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
that's like right in the
delicious.
pocket,
Yeah.
man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is, I feel like, I mean, there's a ton of great brewers out there. There's a ton of, I mean, like if you're a new brewery and you're trying to focus on lagers and you didn't like attend Siebel's Master Brewers Institute program, it's really tough to like make a name for yourself. And like for somebody like Four Generals or like we talk about Deep Draft kind of in this vein too, is like there are guys out there who just like dedicate their lives to like perfecting these like really traditional styles of beer. And it's, I mean, like Four Generals to me is kind of on this list of like, it's insane that you were a home brewer prior to this, and this is how good
Yeah.
your like Reinheitsgebot sort of beers are, right? That's
Yeah.
insane.
I mean, he had started originally as like a garage brewery.
Yeah.
During the the government shutdown in 2011. He had a buddy who was a federal worker who was out of work and helping him
Sure.
brew a ton, and was like, hey, why don't we get something started? And yeah, it turned into this big thing. I mean, we're celebrating 9 years.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Many
amazing.
awards.
Many awards.
Many awards later.
At the World Cup level in Germany.
Yep.
He traveled to Pittsburgh in 2017, which is when he really fell in love with the traditional Bavarian style of beer, and catered a bunch of relationships with people in the industry over there. That his parents were stationed there when his dad was involved in the military, and that's when they originally had met people, and his parents had fallen in love with the German beers. They were like, hey, if you're going to do this, son, why don't you do the beer that we like the best?
Yeah.
Mary was
If it ain't broke,
so
don't fix
kind to
it.
nudge him one way. But yeah, no, and then it's just snowballed since there. He does a really good job at what he does,
Seems
and he's
to have been the
very
right
set in his
direction.
ways. I mean, our shortest brew period is 7 weeks,
Yeah.
Jesus.
and our Schwarz beer
So-
takes 3 months.
Okay, so
So-
for you as the salesperson,
Yes.
how awesome is that?
Right? Like every 3 months, I will have this beer. Every 8 weeks, I will have these beers.
I'm taking pre-orders for my Schwartz beer.
I do get a lot
Dude,
of
totally.
pre-sales. Yeah. A lot of people are like, whenever this is ready, just bring it by.
Yeah.
We don't care when, just bring it by. And
That's-
I'm like, cool. See you such and such time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It'll be 10 to 12 weeks.
yes, yeah.
That's a great problem to have as a lager brewer, though. I
Yeah.
think it's so difficult. I mean, like, if you're a lager lover, this time right now in the industry is kind of a great time because there's
Yeah.
people messing with
It
these
is,
styles,
yeah.
like this realm of beer, in a way that they haven't for a long time. And yeah, like occasionally you kind of, Four Generals doesn't get a ton of like huge distribution. So there's probably a ton of folks listening who don't know that this is out there.
Yes.
And like, if you see a Four Generals lager, especially, seriously try it because it's like,
For sure.
it's as close as you can get to some like seriously traditional, like world-class level German lagers.
Yeah.
But it's also just like, like I said, it's cool that this dude can do this like just being a home brewer and not, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, you traveled to Germany and was clearly nudged one way by his parents.
Yes.
It is. It's amazing, and it's you know, if you're a lager drinker, this can't be a brewery that is not on your radar. Honestly.
Yeah.
So are you guys self-distributed then? Is that
We are.
You are.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I brought the kegs in my trunk today, so.
I thought maybe that was just because it was a special deal. But
Nope.
No.
It's delivery day.
That's delivery day.
I mean, how many employees does Four Generals have?
yeah.
Oh man, I was the first one to be hired in like 3 years. They've got a really steady. So there's the 3 owners, Mike and Mary, our mom and dad. Ross is their son. He's our head brewer. We've got Matt, our assistant brewer. Johnny and Wendy are our taproom gals, and then there's me doing sales, and that's it. So there's just the 6 of us right now.
Federal Way, is that right?
Renton.
Renton. Okay.
Downtown Renton, yeah, off Wells and Third, right
Okay.
in the heart of Renton. So, but yeah.
Which is awesome. I feel like people often say like the middle of like Seattle Tacoma doesn't have a ton going on, and like we've talked to Logan and they've kind of talked about that too. But like Four Generals being buried in the middle of Renton definitely has a spot as like if you're south of Seattle and north of Tacoma and you're looking for good beer. Four Generals, like,
Especially on the east side,
Especially
being
on the
right
east
off
side.
the S curves. You don't want to sit in that traffic.
Yeah.
Come
Yeah.
sit in my tap room.
Yeah.
You need a
Totally
beer
true.
called S Curves. Something.
Oh my God, we do.
Right?
Yeah, you do.
Just a low ABV.
That's right. Just wait out that traffic, man.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, shit, it's already break time. I can't fucking believe it. But we're going to
That's
take a super
crazy.
quick break, refill a couple of beers here, and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Eric Hanberg, co-founder of Channel 253 and host of Citizen Tacoma.
I'm Doug Mackey, the sound guy.
And we are here because we are asking for your support for Channel 253 with a membership. $4 a month or $40 a year truly helps us keep this operation going.
And if you're feeling particularly generous, we do have another level that is $253 a year.
That's right, the Tacoma level. Whatever level works for you, you can support us. Keep us going. Keep the podcast flowing. We truly appreciate your support. Channel253.com/membership is the place to sign up.
And if you remember already, thank you.
Beautiful. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for hanging out during the break. As always, a quick shout out to Doug, our wonderful producer, who loves goes.
Doug goes for the goes.
Private bottle.
And who makes us sound wonderful every week, and who produces many of the Channel 253 podcasts and does a fantastic job.
All of them, yes.
Yeah. All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
The national scene may be going to shit, but, try locally.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. It's
all we can
getting
do.
more and more important to be connected with what's happening locally.
Yes.
And that's a good way to do it in your free time, in traffic, is listening to a local network of podcasts. Shout out to Chris, who puts us on video every week.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And who did the best outro on the last episode.
It was amazing.
It was like Ron wasn't even gone. Not going to live up to either of those motherfuckers on this one. But yeah, if you guys haven't yet, go to Grit and Grain Podcast on YouTube and subscribe and comment and do all that stuff. We are slaves to the algorithm, and it helps us out a ton.
Yeah.
If we want people to be connected to this industry in some kind of way, we should probably do it on video. Sweet. We all have new beer in front of us. Phaedra, what the fuck is this?
Iggy Pup.
Yeah,
It's a
Phaedra.
strong ale, and it's delicious.
Georgetown.
Iggy Pup.
From
Oh,
you
sorry.
know
Yeah.
Douglas
Hang on. Beer, go
from
ahead.
Georgetown again. My
down
favorite
on my
secret hangout, not so secret.
So this is in place of our barley wine,
Yeah.
although it's pretty darn...
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shared it this weekend with friends, and they were like, "What is this, a barley wine?" And I'm like, "Actually,
Dude,
but it's delicious."
it's not super sweet, even though there's like tons of maple in it, and the rye snap on it is like beautiful. This is great. Holy cow.
This is
delicious.
the first
Good job,
time
Jen.
I'm having it.
Lighter mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Than a typical barley wine.
Then a
Yeah.
Then it's
Yeah, way
but
more
it's really
like
good.
English kind of old ale.
Isn't that
yeah.
good?
That is really good.
Isn't it? Do we
really
know?
weird
Do we
saying
know who?
that.
Do we know who's behind
I
it?
believe Craig made it.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
I
all right.
can confidently say that.
Okay.
A part of our puppy series.
Yeah,
But yeah.
nice.
He does an amazing job with our barrel program, and go Craig.
Yeah.
Very, very amazing. And this is really great. Nice maple flavor to it.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I
Yeah,
love-
without being like too chewy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
totally.
snagging bottles when I do go up there. And basket case is another one. Preston's.
Yeah, Preston's basket case is amazing.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Jen, how long have you been at Georgetown?
I've been at Georgetown for 7 years.
Holy smokes.
Nice.
Yeah, I know. It's been a lot of changes. It's been really fun. When I started, 7 years ago, I had just left the Pink Boot Society. And that was just because I was working super hard because going from I used to work at Lowercase Brewing for 3 years when I was also a part of Pink Boot Society then.
No wonder you're a lager lover.
I know.
Is that where you started? Was that your first brewing job?
That was my first brewing job
do
back
it.
in 2014.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. So I kind of helped them open a little bit and started as an assistant brewer and doing like beer tending stuff there while I was leading the Seattle chapter. And there was a lot going on then, but there was also such a small community at the time of women brewers. So the Seattle chapter was super, super compact and way more Seattle dense than anything. And there weren't as many breweries around, but now it's just totally exploded. And it's
Our range is massive.
Yeah. And I think we have 68 members now, and I think at the time we had like 35.
Holy
It was
cow.
far more manageable. It was just me at the time. That was easy.
It was
I remember that
just
was
the Seattle area too.
And
Now we've got like Tacoma, Port Angeles, Issaquah, Cle Elum.
That's cool.
It's Edmonds area. Like it is just a huge net of non-binary women in the industry.
Yeah.
So like, it's not just brewers, right? Like
No.
it's just
No.
women in the industry in general.
Yes.
You said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's like, and you guys are increasing your reach. It's awesome that you like include, different areas like that. So you have members in Tacoma, but you guys like, there's not like a Tacoma chair and co-chair. Like,
No.
do you guys in general run just the Washington Pink Boot Society chapter? I know you said Seattle, but
pretty much, yeah.
right? Like you guys kind of encompass
Yes.
the entire side of like.
I believe there's a Spokane
Yeah, I guess Western
chapter.
Washington. Yeah.
And then Yakima typically pairs up with our partners down in Portland.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Actually, you had mentioned Threshold in your last podcast, and that is one of our members down in the Portland chapter.
For sure.
Sarah's,
Sarah.
spearheading the PDX chapter.
There's a Yakima chapter.
There's what?
There's a Yakima
A
chapter.
Yakima
too.
chapter.
Yeah.
And yes, so they kind of do both because
Cool.
they're so close.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But what was cool about back in 2014 is that it was less brewers, but it was more like women in accounting that were in breweries, in marketing and sales. So we got a really diverse group that wasn't just brewers, and that was really cool. And we would like to try to invite that community a little bit more because we are more production heavy now than we were back then. So we're definitely looking to outreach into that. And obviously, Allie being in sales is really helpful with that.
That's awesome.
And it's good to have a diverse group of women that are in different parts of the industry just so we can learn different aspects of brewing, because it's not just learning about the brewing process, it's learning about every aspect of it and making that opportunity reach much broader for all of our members.
Yeah, and I think with national expanding it to the whole fermented beverage industry, you're looking at a lot more opportunities for non-binary women in the industry. I mean, we have people ranging from, well, I think Rachel from Bosque is a great example, having transitioned several years ago.
Yeah.
And been in the industry for a very long time. We've
Ran a successful brewery for many years now.
Yes, love her stuff.
And she was at Ghostfish before.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Now over at Bosque, but Originally at Ghostfish. Yeah.
Also crushed at Drunk Herstory.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally.
Yes.
So good.
Oh man! Somebody asked me the other day, like, what was your favorite one, and what was your favorite act? And Rachel's was definitely our favorite
It's up
act.
there.
That was good.
Yeah.
Good.
They were all really, really great. It was fun.
That was funny.
Yeah, but really reaching out to all those different aspects of the industry. So we have like taproom managers that are members. We have Lyra, who's a manager who helps with Tacoma Beer Week. She's a Cicerone, everything like that. But reaching to all those facets of the professional fermented beverage industry and expanding our horizons a little bit. I know in the past it had just been beer. But I think that was the thing that National really drove home this year was we want to make sure that everyone knows that they're included.
Totally.
They're included, they're supported, they're going to be educated. We're going to have all these opportunities and scholarships for them. Yeah, I think it's definitely changed since you ran it last. Would you say?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Evolved for sure.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like you've been around since 2014 was the industry was so different back then.
So different,
like,
yeah.
and like you said, you guys have at least doubled your reach since then, and now increased it to like include multiple different fermented beverages.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Do you feel like there's been like a tangible evolution in like women in beer between 24, like at the last 10 years, I suppose, since you've been running Big Boots?
Absolutely. Just the opportunities alone, and I think just between the political environment and just in general, I've noticed that far more of obviously as a male-dominated industry, you're not going to get past that, but
Totally.
I think that we have done a really great job of weeding out the bad seeds, and those men that are more encouraging of women being in the industry have really ended up shining. You have Kevin Watson of Future Primitive. Like you have plenty of other men that have put women in the forefront, and that has given them so though we help everyone with opportunities, it's really the men that have been supportive that has also helped with that, and we have seen more of that progress as well, which
That's
I think
awesome.
is really great.
This is a topic that we haven't like touched on a ton, but I suppose with like all of you guys here,
Wait a minute.
There's so many women here.
so like you ran Pink Boots through. That was funny.
We're coming after you.
So you guys were all in the industry during the Rap Magnet, like stuff on Instagram. I don't did you?
I don't really know what that is.
No? Okay, cool. So if you're not big on social media, like it was, Brienne from Notch Brewing many years ago now, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago now, posted up like a really kind of just innocent story on Instagram about like a random kind of like microaggression thing that she went through as a woman in beer, and it was really simple, like, because she's Notch is like one of the best fucking lager breweries on the planet, and she was the brewer there.
Yes.
And so like when a bunch of dudes come in expecting to see not her like swinging paddles around, obviously she hears plenty of goofy shit throughout the day and feels some kind of way about it. So she brought one specific example up, asked her followers, which at the time was like 2,000 people, have any of you other women in the industry sort of experienced this sort of thing? And of course there was an influx of 10,000 responsive of, from varying levels. Like you said, like there has been bad apples since you have been in this industry. And then there's been plenty of people who have helped to prop up the women that surround them in this industry.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you maybe are more familiar.
Yes,
like,
I've definitely heard of that. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was the whole thing, and it was like it was these stories. For weeks and weeks. I feel like I followed
that's a
for
big
weeks,
one.
and she's actually a friend of a friend. My wife went to school on the East Coast, and some of her friends are beer industry adjacent, and so Brianna's like, she meant well in all of this, and obviously just kind of snowballed outside of her control. But I don't know. I'm curious. Do you all have like similar experiences of like, somebody like Phaedra, like you have been in this industry for 10 years and you can answer any question anybody asks you, but has anybody ever come up to you and been like, hey, is the beer guy here?
Yeah.
Lyra's like, it's me. I'm the beer guy, you fucking idiot.
All the time.
I'm behind the bar.
Yeah.
All the time. Just last week or 2 weeks ago, it was a Russian River themed kind of a conversation, and I was saying something, and I can't even remember what it was because it happens all the time, but
that's so frustrating.
the guy's like, oh, well, you were right. I shouldn't have questioned you. And he's like, I don't know that I really questioned him. I'm like, yeah, you totally questioned me. You did. And he's like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
So you got like the Because I feel like even like the curious raised eyebrow from like like a dude that looks like me in this industry, like when you correctly assess like the hops in like an IPA or something, there's like, it's crazy that you can do that. Like you're like, yeah, man, I've fucking been here. Like,
so I'm in a kind of unique position in that I'm our overnight brewer at Georgetown. So this is real fun. Every time you go to a bar, I'm usually wearing something Georgetown just because we have a lot of swag. And they're like, oh, what do you do for Georgetown? And I'm like, I'm an overnight brewer. And they're like, why is the tap room open overnight? And I was like, I'm always just, that's 99%. Oh my God. 99% of the time.
They don't even hear brewer, they just hear overnight.
And I get it. I'm 5'2". I'm like 120 pounds. Like, I get it. Like, it's not. But at the same time,
so
it's like,
weak, dude.
I'm a brewer. Like, that means I make beer.
Brewer.
I make the beer.
Oh my God.
But that's like 90% of the time. That's the response. So yes, absolutely. It still happens.
Insane.
Yeah.
Lyra.
Which is funny. That's how it goes.
Lyra's like,
Come on.
all the time.
Too many times to count.
Yeah,
Well,
Oh, gosh.
my best example of this is actually when I worked for North Sound in Mount Vernon about, a dozen plus years ago.
Yeah.
And I started with that brewery when it opened. And from week one, I wrote a weekly beer newsletter. And it was quite geeky, and everybody loved it. They told me every week how much they enjoyed my newsletter. And over time, there was this response from whoever, just people responding, and like, oh, okay, I really want to know the guy who's writing this.
Jesus Christ.
No way.
And so then I wrote a newsletter in response, and the title of the newsletter was "I Am Not a Dude."
Nice. I love that. Yeah, girl. Let them know. Tell them.
Let them know.
Yeah. And I wrote that newsletter for 3 years solid every week.
That's fucking
Hell
rad.
yeah.
So great.
I am not a dude.
I am not a dude.
Not a dude.
New beer name. You call it.
Yeah. I think things have gotten better since then. However, they still rear their ugly heads sometimes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of resources out there for like people who are relatively underrepresented in this industry. Mosaic State comes to, we talked to Larry Rock from Mosaic State here. They do like fantastic work kind of in this realm, and like you guys, they also expand it to all fermented beverages because in general, people of color are also underrepresented in this industry and adjacent industries. But do you guys feel like what you're doing will kind of eventually wash out that sort of shit? Like, Pink Boots is obviously there to provide a platform for women in this industry.
Yeah.
And to open the door wider, but I don't know. It's wild that Phaedra's story was like, just 2 weeks ago.
No, and I don't think that's the goal. And I think the goal is more. And I would like to just say, Preston Rock is our other overnight brewer.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Who I work with. But no, I don't think that's the ultimate goal that we're looking for here. I think ultimately we're just looking for equality and just some kind of recognition in the industry, and to avoid things like saying like, oh, is this a man that's like, who's the dude that's speaking? Like, what do you mean the tap? Like, avoiding those conversations pretty much.
Like, it just shouldn't be weird that it's me or that it's you.
Right, exactly. And just like creating this equality. Will we ever get there? Probably not. But making sure that that doesn't prevent women from getting in the door in the first place is, I think, the bigger goal here. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, you think about it, like, women were first allowed in bars in 75 years ago, in the 70s.
There's some bars it was like 40 years ago.
Yeah, it was,
yesterday.
What's the bar in New York?
But it's I feel I agree with Jen on the whole point. We're looking for the equality. We're looking for the yes, this is a male-dominated industry, and we understand that. But also, women kind of invented beer.
Yeah. And we're just looking for the initial reaction to not be, oh, you must not know anything.
Yeah, the assumption that you don't know.
Right.
So the man that's sitting next to you, I'm going to talk to that person instead.
Yep.
And then, and this is also a true story, that happens, and then the man sitting next to me says, I don't know, Phaedra, can you answer this question? Because I don't know the answer.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're just like, you know, flabbergasted. What? And it just, so it's just,
I think the only time I've ever seen that is because I do sign my emails Allie, and a lot of the times people see it as Ali.
Oh, jeez.
I've never thought they would rather assume
They would rather assume.
that you
My
have
iPhone thinks you're Ali.
a relatively unusual name, but are still a man.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
So I still have. There was with my previous job at Logan. I had a long-standing account that said I have your sale guy's phone number programmed in my phone, and I'm like, what? I've literally met you like every single time I've delivered. How do you not know
insane,
it's me?
dude.
So,
They're like, you're delivery woman. Oh,
Yes.
no, dude. What?
that is the salesperson. Yeah. So, but yeah,
Delivery dude, super
kind of
hot.
bridging that gap between, we are, not only are we educating non-binary women in our industry so they can have those conversations, even as just a beer tender or someone serving wine tastings or leading a tasting for cider. Like, we can have the knowledge as well.
Yeah.
And looking for that.
And we often do.
And we often do. Yes.
And it shouldn't be surprising.
Yes.
Exactly.
Fucking
Yes.
weirdos.
Exactly.
There are a lot of non-binary women that work behind bars that are advanced cicerones, that are sommeliers, that are, really well educated in this industry. And I think, answering to your question, yes, we do see kind of that divide. But
Sure.
in the same time, we're looking for the equality.
Yeah.
And supporting and showcasing our members and educating them is the best way that we can get there.
Totally.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys like Jen, you put it in the perfect term, is like keeping the door open as wide as possible. Like
Yes.
that's the point.
Yes.
Like you don't want anybody to feel like they don't belong here.
Yeah.
Because they do belong here.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm gonna shift gears because it's time for fuck up stories.
All right, Grit and Grainers, I'm Sean Jackson, and I fuck up all the God-blessed time, as we all do. So, please do regale us with your fuck up stories.
Matt, open some more beer.
Oh,
Yeah, open
shit.
it up. Super.
Dude,
We've got two more.
Quick, two more bottles.
How much
And we've only got
pasta?
5 more
right.
minutes.
I know. We've only got so much time and so much beer.
Doug's clicking his pencil.
Allie, fire away. I heard you might have a fuck up story.
I've got 2 stories for you because
Okay.
I was so worried about being prepared.
I'm down for 2. You lead with whichever
She's
one
an
you want.
overachiever. I love it.
I do love it.
I just want the one closer to death.
I knew that's why I liked her.
I don't think either of them.
She's like, what?
You two are a fucking piece of pie.
We are. We're very good friends.
I think my biggest, I say fuck up story, but really it was just an embarrassing moment. I went to the Women in Beer fundraiser with Pike Brewing before Seattle Hospitality brought them out.
Oh yeah.
When Leslie Shore was still the head brewer, and I had a bunch of buddies that worked there with her.
Shout out to Leslie.
Yes.
She's gonna be on in like a month.
Yay! Yeah.
I love Leslie so much.
Yeah. So of course, in true Charlie Finkel fashion, there were waiters running around with samples all night long.
Of course.
And at one point, I was offered my 3rd sample. Of course, having one in each hand already, I was like, I don't know what to do. And I was sitting there talking with Charlie. So I put the 3rd beer in between my lips and like,
Held it there?
No.
Okay.
I'm really good at it with shot glasses, but a plastic cup is a lot different. So I tipped it back to take the beer as a shot and just drenched myself
Oh my god, dude.
right in front of Charlie Finkel.
Wait, but he loved it. He absolutely loved it. You know he did.
Lost it.
Yes.
That was the highlight of his night.
I know, I bet it was.
I know, he still tells
bet
this
it
story.
was.
I bet he does. Yeah.
He's like, look at this.
That was definitely
That's like the
right.
last person in the world. Like,
Like the founder of Pike Brewing.
I know.
Just spilt a beer entirely
The reason
down the
we're
front of my
all
cocktail
here.
dress.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, that was fun. Do not recommend.
I swear to God, I'm a professional in this industry.
I know what I'm doing, I promise. Yeah.
That's so
Holy
good.
shit.
That's so good.
That's so sick.
So good.
I love it. That's awesome.
That's such a
I'm sure
great
he probably
story.
doesn't remember my name, but he probably
remembers
No, he
that.
remembers you, and he remembers
totally.
you because he remembers everybody.
Oh, he will.
Amazing.
Your face.
Yeah. I know. When you meet him again as the chair of the Pink Boot Society,
Be like,
have we met
one
before?
night? Yes, absolutely. We
Please
have.
bring me with you.
Yes, please. I need to back
Oh my
up.
God, that's
Yeah.
amazing. I love that.
So good, dude. Oh man.
Jen, you have any?
Mine's not as fun.
She
Mine's
apparently
just, like,
almost died.
Stupid.
Well, it's a
Of course I've
story,
like,
so.
I was
Supposed to
like,
be a
of
little
course I've
stupid.
like opened the wrong valve and I've like done stupid shit. We've had so much construction going on at Georgetown in the last 7 years. So we have these sleds. And I don't know if you're familiar with a sled, but it fits 2 wooden pallets on it. It's about 5 feet long. And we were, for some reason, I can't remember why, they were digging a trench on our loading dock, which is super rude because they didn't tell you. They don't tell you where exactly you need to go. And when you're trying to sled 2 full pallets of 6 packs of beer, so like whatever.
100 cases.
Thank you.
Yeah.
200 of them because
Oh yeah,
2 of
because it's
them.
2. Yeah. Math.
We're mathing here.
Rosh Rock, 200. There you go. These fuckers don't tell you like where exactly you're supposed to go, so they made this janky ramp, but they didn't like say where on the ramp to go. So I like to like rabbit the sled because I like to go really fast, and so I rabbit. All of the construction guys are standing there, Terry, Randy, and
I'm sure they're going to watch it later.
Oh, it's fun. I fucking go full blast into this, it's like 4-inch trench, and I just get stuck in there. And Terry's like, "Are you serious? What the hell?" And I was like, "Yeah." So they had to like jack it, so bad. So they had to like get a car jack and jack it out.
No fucking way. And somebody's standing holding up the cases.
Yeah, and what's worse about it is that this entire time, I think for a month we've had that trench there. They had to write orange lines on now because Jen can't drive the sled through the trench
So every time you see the
area.
lines,
So now
you're just-
everyone's like, "Thanks, Jen. Here's your orange lines."
No, that sounds like a win. Like you're notorious now.
I mean,
Safety first.
There you
Yeah,
go.
exactly. Yeah.
That's it. Safety.
I made this mistake, so you don't have
Exactly.
You were paving the
Worst
way.
nightmare.
Thank you, Lydia.
to. I laid on the fucking grenade for you guys. Nobody appreciates anything I do.
You know?
We got a superhero here.
But a real quick Terry story. So Terry is like the main guy. He does a lot of our construction. He leads a lot of our construction. We had a grain silo that overfilled. And when it overfills, that really sucks because it gets everywhere. But the main part is that you can't let it get into the storm drain. And and on our loading dock, we have these like filters that prevent anything from getting into the storm drain. So when grain comes piling over and raining onto the loading dock, you have to go in and manually scoop it out. Terry and I are the same size, but he is, big man at heart. So I was like, so Terry's like, "Great, I gotta like dig through this thing and to dig on this." Yeah, it is. Terry's amazing. I love him so much.
That was so
That
cool.
he's this really fun but like very aggressive man. I love Terry so much. But you have to. So it's down like probably like my arm's length, which is not very long. I don't know how long that is. But so he's like, "I gotta dig this all out." And I was like, "How can I help you?" And he's like, "You can't help me." Man story, right? And I was like,
Word.
"Whatever, Terry, we're the same size." So I get down there and I start helping him out.
He's never lived this down.
No, he is not.
He thinks about that every morning.
I like to think so, but I don't think so. Anyways, that's my story.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
All right, I don't have an outro. Chris killed the last episode, and I do not have one this episode. But I will say,
Wah, wah.
Jesus, Leah. Glad you came.
It's only because it's on my bucket list to read the outro at some point.
I'll tell you.
I want to do that all the time. Thank you.
But yeah, please do go follow Grit and Grain Podcast. Please go follow Channel 253, gritandgrainpodcast.com. Follow us, subscribe to us, go to YouTube, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Music. One of those is dead now, I think. No? Okay. Anyway.
Stitcher.
No such thing as a bad time to visit Tacoma. No such thing as too much barley wine. Tune in next Friday for more sweet chatter. Cheers.
Cheers. Nice job.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks again for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us at Grit and Grain Podcast wherever you get your social media and catch new episodes every Friday. Cheers.
Get up.
Channel 253 is member supported. I'm producer Doug Mackey, and I hope you will show your support by going to channel253.com/membership and join. Thank you. Grit and Grain is part of the Channel 253 podcast network. Check out our other shows: Nerd Farmer, Move to Tacoma, Interchangeable White Ladies, What Say You, Citizen Tacoma, and Kitchen 253.
This is Channel 253.